What's going on, guys? It's me, Airliner Fan HC here, and today we have a video in regarding my plan for the Airliners International 2025 convention. I am beyond excited to attend Airliners International once again for the third time in a row, with of course Dallas being my first, Kansas City being my second, and here we are in Atlanta for the third year for me in this case. Well, I mean, some of you guys attended 2022's convention in Chicago, so this might be your first time. But for me, since I attended Dallas first, this will be my third time attending Airliners. So I'm just beyond excited for that. Today's the day, ladies and gentlemen. Airliners International 2025 is tomorrow, June 25th, and it'll last until the 28th on a Saturday of this week. And yeah, once again, it's going to be held at the world's busiest airport, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. So super excited to go back to ATL. This is technically not my first time since I attended Atlanta. Well, not really attended, but went to Atlanta. As I went to Atlanta last year for Kansas City, but I stayed there for a layover. So it's going to be a whole lot different since I'll be there for the entire week. So I'm just beyond excited. And currently I'm recording this on the day of my flight later tonight. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about all the details in today's video. So with that being said, let's not waste our time. Let's go ahead and get started. So what's going to be the description? What's the plan for Airliners International for me? That's what everybody's asking. What am I going to be doing? Well, you'll find out in today's video. So I do want to start off with a little bit of description. So the tour duration will be, well, not really tour. The trip, well, I'll go into the tours later because I got selected on one of them. I'll go about that later once again. But for the trip details, the duration will last 6 days, so it'll start today and it'll last until Sunday. I have 3 flights, Delta and American Airlines, so I have 2 Delta flights and then an American Airlines flight later on. I'll be staying there for 5 days and 4 nights. So if you haven't seen the trip announcement video, then it goes into detail on that. But I do want to go over the next slide, which will be day 0, which will be today basically, June 24th. I'll be flying Delta Airlines later tonight, Delta Flight 769 from Sacramento International Airport to Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. And this is actually a similar flight I took last year when I went to Kansas City. But this time, this is just a direct flight, and I'll be heading out of Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson to go to my hotel. So, kind of like the same, feels like the same vibe to like last year's convention in Kansas City, except this will be Atlanta. And yeah, Comfort Plus just for a change, since last year I went for a main cabin, so why not do Comfort Plus on a 739? So beyond excited for that, and yeah, that's all you need to know from this slide. So moving on to the next one, which will be day 1, Wednesday, June 25th, day 1 of the Airliners convention, and day 1 of course this trip. Well, not really day 1, day 0 of the convention, as how people like to say it as. I arrive at Atlanta. I don't know what to do at some point, but probably I guess I'll just go get my booty bag and all that stuff. So that's the first order of business when I go to the Renaissance. I think the registration desk is somewhere at the Renaissance or the Delta Flight Museums. So I'm honestly, I'm not really quite sure, but highly likely it might be in the Renaissance Hotel, the Renaissance Concourse Airport Hotel. So that's what I'm assuming. But later at 11:15 a.m., I was fortunate enough to be selected at the first Atlanta Ram Tour, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Ram Tour. So I think there's like 2 Ram Tours on Wednesday. So you have one in the afternoon and one in the morning. I was fortunate enough to be selected on the morning Ram Tour, and this is actually one of the lottery systems. So I had to pick a certain there were 3 lottery systems out there. So one of them is the ATL Ram Tour, the other being the Delta Tech Ops, and the other one being the Pilot Training Center. So again, I was fortunate enough to be selected on the ATL Ram Tour. That'll last from 11:15 a.m. to 1 p.m. So super excited for that. So that's basically 2 hours and 15 minutes. And after that's done, I check in at my hotel and I just stay there, relax. And then later on the third bullet point, we have the Atlanta Plane Spotting Meetup from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. hosted by CM Aviation. So yeah, we're really excited to come back to another plane spotting meetup, and hopefully this is better than Kansas City, and it's all planned out because Kansas City, I could go into that a little bit more on a separate video. But for this one, since it's a big airport, I don't think we should have a problem, so we should be good. So those are what's going to be happening on day 1. But I do want to talk about the hotel that I'm going to be staying at. So some of you guys might say that I'll be staying at the Renaissance Concourse or the Kinston Hotel. Well, You're wrong, because it's actually not the Renaissance Concourse nor the Kimpton Airport Hotel. Nuh-uh, not today, not this year. Yeah, it's quite different because usually those are the hotels that are going to be hosting Airlines Convention. But I went for a different hotel. Actually, not really me. One of my friends actually booked a different hotel because once those were actually there, those sold out like hotcakes, especially for the Renaissance Concourse Hotel because you basically got the best views of ATL Airport, which I'm quite surprised. Like, literally surprised. I was not expecting that to be sold out that quickly. So, yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, I gotta say, but we do got a hotel. Like, I was able to at least stay in a hotel, thankfully, which is going to be the La Quinta Inn and Suites Hotel. Now, I'm assuming it's located south of the ATL Airport. Yeah, but here is the La Quinta Hotel. It's not really it's not really a big hotel compared to the Renaissance Concourse or the Kimpton Hotel, but it's kind of like a more of a, I guess, vacationer's hotel. You just stayed in, okay, they don't have many rooms, and it's not really all that fancy, but for as long as I stay in a hotel, then I'm good. And similar to last year, I'll be sharing a room with my buddy, Ed, or otherwise known as Ed Aviation, excuse me. So yeah, of course, me and Ed Aviation, we've been friends for like since 2023, and it's really, I appreciate him sharing a room with me. So thank you so much, Ed, for the room, and I'm looking forward to have some fun with you. Alright, so that's basically it for day 0, but we move on to day 1, which is day 1 at the Airliners Convention Collectible Show, and it'll be hosted at the Delta Flight Museum. It opens at 12 p.m. for registered guests, but it opens at 2 p.m. for all guests. And it's gonna be a really interesting museum. This will be my first time at the Delta Flight Museum, and honestly, from seeing all the pictures, those look really cool, especially for the Spirit of Delta 767-200. But when I come inside that building in person, it's gonna be a new experience for me. Especially for the, like, since they just renovated the museum, it's gonna be a really, really cool experience for me. So I'm beyond excited to step inside the Delta Flight Museum for the very first time. And yeah, just explore this museum. Of course, also collecting models and other aviation memorabilia as well. But that does not end there, as I'll be exploring more of the Delta Flight Museum, especially for the airplanes outside. Like, for example, we have the Boeing 747-400 that's displayed outside. I'll be exploring that aircraft. And yeah, I don't think I've never seen a Delta 744 before, or it's kind of like a long time since I last saw one. I think I may have saw it with my own eyes, but who knows. But this will be my first time getting up close with a 744, and given the fact that this is actually the first 747-400 ever built, and Northwest delivered that, and then Delta acquired it, and then now it's here displayed at the Delta Flight Museum. So that's really cool right there. So that's going to be exciting. Next bullet point I do want to talk about is not really much of a bullet point, but I do want to add this anyway, is check out the Delta 757-200 retro livery, the widget livery in this case. And yes, that's also displayed at the outside area of the Delta Flight Museum, and it's just close to the 747-400. So yeah, just take a look at it, get some pictures and all that stuff and all that jazz. And then after that, for the other bullet point, the fourth one in this slide, we have the welcome party reception that will last from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And of course, that welcome reception is just like a get-together with 8 geeks and have a snack. Whether it be like pizza or anything, or some other refreshments, it's kind of like more of a chit-chat, with your fellow aviation enthusiasts and all that. So yeah, really cool. But it's kind of like similar to last year's convention in Kansas City, except after that, there was a presentation by Tom Livesey. I'd assume that there's, like, from what I saw on the welcome party reception on the airliners newsletters, I was thinking there won't be any other events after that. So after 7:30 p.m., all of us can head back to the rooms and do their thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be planning on, and overall it's going to be really fun. Alright, so that's it for Thursday, which is day 1 of the collectible show. Now we move on to day 2 of the collectible show, or in this case, day 3 of this convention, and I do apologize, there was something that appeared. Anyways, Friday, we have the second day of the collectible show, which will open at 9 a.m. And yeah, again, do all the exploring of everything, collect some models, collect some memorabilia, but later at 12 p.m., I'll be heading, excuse me. Here, let me rephrase this. So, at 12 p.m., I'll be heading to the Delta 767 to attend Connor McCauley or CM Aviation's seminar on his passion for Gemini jets collecting. And yeah, it's really cool that Connor has a seminar at this year's convention, and given his presence at Airliners and how much he's been promoting the collectible show and all the other aspects of Airliners, it really does make sense on why Connor has this seminar. So wishing him the best on his seminar, and yeah, looking forward to meeting him. Of course, I probably met him during day 0, but I've been a fan of his channel, or like an influencer on his channel so much, and that's why I collect models, because of him. So yeah, it's really nice to see Connor having his seminar at the Delta 767. I'm looking forward to him speaking on Friday. For the third bullet point and fourth bullet point, it's kind of like the same deal as like what I'll be doing on Thursday, except it's different aircrafts outside the Delta Flight Museum, which will be the Delta DC-9 that's pictured on the right side, alongside the Delta DC-7B, the Delta DC-7B ship number 717. So that's the aircraft that you're seeing at the bottom right corner. So really interesting on how they also have that aircraft on display alongside the DC-9. And yeah, it's really cool that Delta has all these airplanes displayed outside, especially for the 747 and 757 alongside those other 2 aircraft I mentioned before. And yeah, it's gonna be really cool to also take a look at these planes too. For the fifth bullet point, or was that the fifth bullet point, I'll also be exploring more of the Delta Flight Museum and probably collect some other memorabilia, but I'll also be checking out the exhibits inside. Like, they do have a cutout of a Lockheed L-1011 on display, so that's really cool on how they were able to get that in. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that. And after a couple of hours, we do have the ATL plane spotting meetup. This will be number 2 of the convention, of course hosted by CM Aviation, and that will last from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So a lot shorter compared to Wednesday, but I'm looking forward to another great plane spotting session at ATL, and I think Connor will be hosting it on the Whiskey Loop. So that's like the parking lot that's close to like the whiskey, like I think it's the whiskey taxiway in ATL. So kind of like, I think it's on like the north side or east side. I'm not really quite sure. Don't know too much on ATL's infrastructure, so I might have to like look into that even more. But JJ Aviation also provided a link that shows you all the international heavies and all the other Delta heavies that are coming to Atlanta at this specific time. I'll probably like put that down on the link below in the description of this video, so yeah, that might be there. Yeah, if you like see that on the bottom, then you can take a look at that. So yeah, but that's it with day 3 of the collectible show. Now we move on to day 4 of the of this convention or this trip, and day 3 of the collectible show. But before that, I do want to get a sip of water because I don't want to be talking too much without getting a sip of water. So let me just do that real quick, you guys. And let's get started with day 3 of the collectible show. So again, opens at 9 p.m. similar to day 2. And yeah, nothing too much to go over. It's discount day, so expect me to go all at it at day 3, just like last year. And yeah, and maybe there might be a possibility that I'll be doing a tour, because like currently right now I have 1 tour on schedule, so not sure if Saturday will also be a tour day. I'm planning on trying to attend that DC-3 tour they have. I'm not sure. It depends on the availability, because like the 12 p.m. one on a Saturday is sold out, but I think there might be a few slots at the 11 o'clock one. I'm not really quite sure. I think registration is closed, but I can try to ask them if there's any open spots for that tour. But whether or not it's a tour day on Saturday, then I just only have 1 tour for this entire convention. And yeah, so nothing really too much on a Saturday. It's just collect models, discount day, and then the showroom closes at 3 p.m. in preparation of the Saturday night banquet, which will be from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. So yeah, I attended the first banquet for Airliners last year in Kansas City, and then there's that photo you're seeing at the bottom left corner. And overall, it was a really fun experience doing my first banquet. There were raffles, we got our presentation speaker, or like a representative speaker, and yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting for this year's convention. Of course, and all like the rest of the convention itself. So yeah, that's it for day 4. Of course, like it kind of goes into a bit of detail on like day 3, but nothing too much. Again, it's just discount day, and yeah, after 3 p.m. we could just like hang out at the hotel, do some things, and then as we prepare for the Saturday night banquet, there's gonna be a lot of fun things that'll be happening there. So that is it for pretty much Airliners International, Saturday, June 28th. That's the final day of the convention, but I will be leaving on a Sunday, which will be day 5 of this trip, and that's basically after the convention. So what are really my plans after the convention on a Sunday? Well, here they are. I have 4 bullet points. The first one that I'll be doing is probably extra activities in Atlanta. Like, I will most likely be exploring downtown for a bit, kind of go to the park, do some things, and then probably probably go to the Atlanta Aquarium, because I do like exploring a lot of attractions in different cities, and I know the Atlanta Aquarium is one of them, so looking forward to going there. Alongside that, just chilling in the park. There's like a park that I do want to like go to in Atlanta, which is very nice. And after all that's done, what are the rest of my plans? Well, these are the rest of the plans that I'll be doing. Well, not really plans. All that's left in Atlanta is just explore outside of ATL Airport, like just downtown in general. But for my second bullet point, I'll be heading back home to Sacramento, but before that, I gotta take a flight going to Charlotte first for a layover. I'll be flying, of course, Delta Flight 3062 on a 717, so that's gonna be really fun to fly on the Delta 71. And once I'm there, I'll be at CLT Airport. First time at Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and first time in the Carolinas too. What I will be doing there is 2 things. One of them is explore the Sully Museum, which houses Cactus Flight 1549, the A320 that was involved in that incident. And yeah, it's really cool that that aircraft's there, so I'd expect there's gonna be a video on that coming soon. In addition to that, I'll also be doing a plane spotting session at ATL, and most likely I might be doing it on the viewing deck depending on where the lighting is. So looking forward on doing all of those activities here at CLT Airport, and it's gonna be a really fun time going there. And after that, after everything that's done, we have my flight going back to Sacramento on American Airlines from CLT to SMF, American Airlines Flight 2508. So, and after that, that basically just rounds off the trip. After that flight, that rounds off this trip to Airliners International in Atlanta. So, yeah, nothing much to go over right there, since this will be the final leg of this trip. But I go into further, like, in-depth details on, like, that on my trip announcement. So, I would highly recommend checking that out, too. So, that's it for what I'm going to be planning for Airliners International. But I do want to give you some additional advice, which will be here on this tab. So, additional notes. Make sure to budget your money. Limit to a certain amount of money each day. So, like, for example, try to spend $250 or $300 per day. And yeah, like, just save up on money. But most likely for day 1, I would recommend, and Connor also talked about this during his video from Airliners 2023. Make sure you don't spend too much on day 1. If you're looking for a model that's that really is needed for your collection, and there's one on like a certain table, then you can take a look on another table if you want to get a cheaper option. Who knows? Maybe it might be there, but yeah, that's it. It's all up to like what's available. So yeah, try to do something like that, but most likely try to budget your money on a certain day. Like again, $250 or $350 or like $300 spent per day. So yeah, that's one bullet point, and you don't have to spend all your budget in one go on day 1. That unfortunately happened to JJ Aviation during his time at during his time in Chicago here during Airliners 2022. Even my friend at Aviation also wasn't really too much of him. I don't know what happened. Why did he do that during last year's convention in Kansas City? I was like shocked to see how much models he had spent on day 1 overall. And he's a really interesting guy, I gotta say, and he's really fun to talk to. But him spending all of his budget in day 1 of in Kansas City is something that I don't want to go over too much. That's kind of like on him. But all I can say, it's all effort based. I guess he really does want a lot of models for his collection. So yeah, but most likely, yeah, I unfortunately had, like, it's not just like, here, let me rephrase that, but it's not just me, like, it's not just JJ or Ed. I unfortunately had to took a blow on how much I spent on day one during my time in Dallas in 2023. Yeah, I kind of fell victim to that since that was my first convention, but thankfully I was able to do much more better in Atlanta. And not Atlanta, I'm sorry, I've just been going so much on Atlanta that I forgot to mention Kansas City. But Kansas City, I did a lot more better on how much models I got on day one. 3 models. Just 3 models on day 1 at Kansas City, so that was really good. But let's see how much I get during Atlanta. Most likely I'll just get the rare models in that case, and then kind of like figure out what's next and all that jazz. Second bullet point I do want to talk about is, if you're with a group, stick with a group throughout the collectible show. No matter, actually it's not just the collectible show, but on the tours, the spotting meetup, and all that, and everything else if there's like outside activities. Make sure to stay with a group, so it's best to keep track on where you are and for yourself to feel safe. So always stick with a group. Third bullet point I do want to talk about is make a list of models that you're planning on getting. So if you're planning on getting a white whale model, then make sure to mark that down on your list. And if you want to get some extra models that really is needed for your collection, or like you need certain airlines for your model airports, then make a list on that too. But make sure you make a list of models before you go ahead and then spend money on model planes in 1/400 scales, yeah, or 1/200s. And for the fourth bullet point of this slide, look for a model that you want with a cheaper price. I think I mentioned about that before. Is like, if you see a model that's there and it's well needed for your collection, who knows, there might be another model that's also listed at a different vendor table. So hold that model off, and if you find a deal with a cheaper option, then go for that. So yeah, it's a best money saver for you newcomers for this convention. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing that. So that's it for the additional notes, but I do want to give you, actually, are we, okay, oh wait, I think I had a concluding advice on one of the slides. I don't know where that went, but I'll be right back, guys. I gotta make that concluding advice slide. So yeah, I do apologize, because usually I would have a concluding advice slide before I get into this slide. So I'll be right back, guys. And I'm back with the concluding advice slide. Again, I do apologize if this was added in at the last minute. I was not expecting the concluding advice slide to be not there at this slideshow, so I had to like slap this in just to fill in the void. So these are the concluding advices. So the first bullet point is to stop by and say hi to me. I might be around the Delta Flight Museum looking for some models or other places at the tour, so feel free to say hi to me. I also do want to mention the second bullet point as well, which I'm just friendly. I'm just basically friendly to everyone. You don't have to be nervous if you want to talk to me. Of course, there's a few people who are shy to like meet me because they might be scared, but I'm very friendly and I love meeting new people. So yeah, just stop by and say hi, and then stop by for a selfie and everything, and then all that jazz. Third bullet point I do want to talk about is meet some new Abe geeks. There's a lot of new and current Abe geeks that are coming to this convention. Of course, I had some previous Abe geeks. I met some new ones. Excuse me, jeez. I met some new aviation enthusiasts in Kansas City last year, and I'm looking forward to meeting more new aviation enthusiasts alongside with newcomers and existing ones as well. And the most important bullet point, which will be the final bullet point, yeah, this is most importantly. So the most important thing for this convention is have a great time. Do all you can. Go collect some models, go collect aviation memorabilia, have fun on the tours, talk with Abe geeks, and just have fun. You're really gonna love this convention. Trust me, it's a convention you don't want to miss, honestly, unless you're doing some other plans. But this is a highly recommended convention to attend during the summer. So it is gonna be fun. So yeah, looking forward to this convention once again. And with that, that's it for this slide. So welcome to Airliners International 2025 ATL. Man, again, I'm beyond excited for this convention. Second time in Atlanta, and I'm looking forward to all the activities that are going to be happening at this year's convention. So that is it for today's video. So once again, I'm beyond excited. As man, I don't know why I've been saying that like multiple times at this video, but it's going to be a fun convention. I can't wait to meet you guys there, and it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be even better than Kansas City. Trust me. Every single year, Airliners International gets better and better, and we're gonna see that happening here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's gonna be a huge success. Can't wait for all the references we're gonna be making. A lot of funny ones, a lot of good ones. Who knows what's gonna be happening? Chris Limmer, of course, being the main guy himself, will be here talking about everything. Bill Dimmers, which is his helper, also a member of the Airlines International 2025 team and World Airline Historical Society, and then you got the rest of the WAS team members as well. So I appreciate you all just making this convention happen. Chris, Bill, Steve, Layla, and the entire Airliners International 2025 team and World Airline Historical Society. Thank you so much for giving this convention to all. It's going to be a fun one, and again, it's going to be better than Kansas City. It's going to be really awesome, and I can't wait to explore what's to come for the next couple of days from the 25th to the 28th. Gosh, this is gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to see you all there. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell icon, so you won't miss a new upload from me anytime soon. And don't forget to check out all my Airliners International 2025 playlists, and yeah, you can just click on those. But not only that, you can also check out JJ Aviation's Airliners 2025 community content playlist, and it shows you all of the content creators that make videos on the Airliners International 2025, and I also had some videos there as well on that playlist. So I would highly recommend checking out that playlist and my playlist as well. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in Atlanta for Airliners International 2025. Good night.